What's up, guys? Welcome to the first part in a 4-part series on a pain-free horse stance. The reason why I made this video is because a lot of times you see videos out there that say put your feet double shoulder width apart and bend down till your thighs are parallel to the ground. And while that might technically be true, it's not the full story on a horse stance, and you can end up getting hurt that way. So what I did is I'm going to put together this 4-part series that's going to help you get a pain-free horse stance that's a proper horse stance too, okay? Because just bending down thigh parallel might not be a horse stance. It might actually be just a wide squat if not done properly. We're going to show you the proper way. Our first tip today is going to be external rotation, okay? So what is external rotation? Well, if I have my feet, you can see they're pointed straight forward. If I turn them out, that's external rotation. If I point them in, or turn them in, that's internal rotation of the legs. So when I create external rotation, I don't actually want to turn my feet. Obviously, in a horse stance, you want your feet as straight as possible. I'm going to screw them into the ground. So they're trying to turn out, but they can't, right? Kind of like if I was taking my foot, stomping on a cigarette and twisting it out, that kind of feeling, only my foot does not move. So the setup for this is basically feet about double shoulder width apart and parallel, okay? They don't have to be exactly parallel. If they're a little bit crooked like this, that's fine. Everybody's different. But as parallel as possible, just make sure they're not pointed out like this. If they're not pointed out like this is too much, and you can't create external rotation here. So I want my feet pointed as straight as possible, and then as I go down, I screw them into the ground, right, to create a stable stance. Way to check this is that when you go down, you could push on your knees. If your knees cave in, you're not creating external rotation, you're not creating a stable base. So for example, if I do this and I just bend my knees and I push on them, you can see that they're caving in. That's not a good stance. So I create external rotation, and now you see when I push on them, they're not going anywhere. That's a good stable base. This is the base for your whole entire horse stance. This is why it's the first tip. It's the most important one. If you don't have this, the rest of your horse stance will not be good. So our next tip is going to be on the posterior pelvic tilt in our next video. This is what makes a horse stance, so be sure to look at that one. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. And we'll see you for part 2 in our horse stance series. Okay? Enjoy.